Josh, where you at? You at in where are you? Are you at home or something?
I don't know what city I'm in actually. What city are we in?
Secaucus, New Jersey.
We're in New Jersey.
Okay.
We're right as we played New York last night, so we're in New Jersey, right outside New York.
Yeah, you excited? The new record drop say it's got to be a fun time, huh?
Yeah, we drank a little too much last night. It was good.
Why not? Yeah, why not? Exactly. So let's talk about the record. This is how the world ends. And I see that you guys produced this record. It's a little more raw. Now, see, I thought your last record was really raw as well. You think this one's rawer?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, I haven't had a chance to listen to it. So what makes this one more raw? I know that you guys said that you were using first and second takes as opposed to polishing stuff.
Yeah, and lyrically, it's even more raw. I think it's in every sense of the word. It is. Yeah.
And why did you guys decide to produce this one yourself?
I made that decision. I think we all made that decision towards the end of making the first album. And even the producer on the first album was like, "You're definitely going to make the next one yourself." And he's like, and you should, because I was such a control freak when we were working on that first one. And I struggled with working with a producer.
Why
as much as I loved him, and he had he was such a huge part of that album. That album wouldn't have been anything if it weren't for him. But I knew that there was like a different direction that I wanted to take things. I actually wanted things to be less, I guess, radio sounding.
Yeah.
And if radio wanted to pick it up and play it, like that would be amazing. But I definitely didn't want to cater to that. And I felt like now that we were already established, we could really just follow our intuition a little bit more. And that's what we did. I mean, we followed it completely, and there was nobody in the room but the band to tell us what we should or shouldn't do.
Now, when you guys write these songs, are all you guys together, or are you pretty much the band leader and y'all kind of to follow you?
We have moments where we're all together, and then moments where I just take it and do vocals and lyrics and fine tuning and sort of like arrangement ideas. I'll usually like present ideas to the band, and then I think it'd be too expensive for all of us to be like in a big room doing that for a long time. So a lot of it's just like bedroom work. I guess.
And so with doing this yourself, what were the challenges? Was it easier? Was it harder than you thought it was going to be?
It was extremely hard.
Yeah.
It was extremely hard because I was so close to this music. And having deadlines is, I don't know I haven't figured that out yet. Like I realize that that's part of this job is not only like creating music, but it's creating music and hitting deadlines so that you can release them when you have tours coming up, and that's how things are supposed to roll. I'm not good at that at all. So I'm still not good at it. I don't know that I'll ever be good at it. And I also said towards the end of this record, like, I'm never doing this again. I'm never self-producing again. But when it comes to the next record after this, I'll probably take on even more responsibilities. Probably be like, all right, well, I'm mixing and mastering this one too. Like, this is that.
Yeah, there you go. No, that's awesome. So did this record turn out as you heard it in your head?
Yeah. Like dead on.
Really?
Yeah.
And and like I said, I haven't had a chance to listen to the whole thing yet, but I heard that there are parts of it that were not screw ups, but maybe just it's funny because I was thinking about this earlier. It's like there's some Led Zeppelin songs with some screw ups here and there, and it's like it kind of makes the record real.
Right. Yeah, there were moments when I didn't have all the lyrics written. There's one of my favorite songs in the album called Only Love, where I didn't have all the lyrics written, but I had like the start of I had the first couple lines that I knew I liked, and I knew how I wanted to deliver them. So I just pressed record and started singing, and I ended up continuing the whole part just on the top of my head, like whatever came out. And I kind of stumble over certain words, and it's not perfect, and it's a little bit like shaky and pitchy, but it's such an emotional song that like when I got done with it and I listened back to that take, it's like, I'm leaving that. I'm leaving that like in its entirety. That's exactly that's it. Why touch it? Like, let me add a harmony here and there and then be done.
Yeah, I haven't heard that song yet, but I'm interested to hear what that sounds like.
Yeah, it's very different. I mean, it's that one's one of the sweeter, more emotional sort of heartbreak songs on the album. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a heartbreak song, but I did hear Family, and that's a real Well, I would say a heartbreak song, but that's like it's kind of a song that I can relate to as well. For the first 15 years, you're the favorite son. For the last 15, you're the hated one. I mean, I kind of get those lyrics a little bit. I mean, I grew up in a great family. I'm not, complaining or nothing. And I asked you last time if you what your mother thought of some of your lyrics and stuff. So, what did your parents think of this record? Had they heard it?
I haven't talked to them yet. No, and they hadn't heard the record, but I talked to them before Family came out. I had a big I reached out to everyone in my family. and that was actually, I mean, that's what the song is about, is how difficult it is just to pick up the phone and call them. And it ended up being so much easier than I thought it was. I could have thrown the song in the garbage right then and there. Like, oh, I'm over it. I don't need to put this song out. But no, they were all really supportive and understanding. And I mean, also like the music video for the song, they're in it. It's like home video clips of me and my family. So it was like very, very personal. And I don't know what that's like if I wasn't doing what I was doing, but I had a family member who kind of put their life on display like that. I know that's got to be like weird for them. So
yeah. How many kids are in your family?
I have 2 sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one of my sisters now just had a baby. So I'm now an uncle.
Okay. Well, congrats. Yeah. Yeah. So your parents have come out and seen you play live, I take it, right?
Yes. Oh yeah.
What do they think?
They love it. Yeah. I mean, my whole family are huge supporters. Like they've always been huge supporters. My dad's our biggest fan.
Well, that's got to help, right?
No, it doesn't. It makes it harder. Yeah. It makes it harder when I'm in this like really weird state and trying and like, I guess detaching from all of it. And then I don't know, there was a big moment of realization when Family was written that that was all my doing. Like whatever these feelings were, like they are supportive. They want to be in my life. They want to support and they're great. What's wrong with me? Why is that so hard for me to accept the support and love from people who are closest to me, who know me most? But I'm still analyzing it and figuring it out. And I should probably see a therapist, but I'm way too busy doing interviews with you people. So
I'll be your therapist. You're on the couch practically, so you might as well just.
This actually feels, it's a hotel couch, but it feels kind of like a therapist couch.
So did you guys relocate for this record as well? So some of you guys went to Nashville?
It wasn't for the record. I mean, I relocated, I just moved. I moved out of LA and all of us used to live in LA and we're all out now.
How did that affect your writing or your perspective on the world?
It didn't.
No,
because like I write within walls. Like when I'm in writing mode, I'm not very social. I don't go out and see anybody. I don't like. So COVID didn't even affect me that much. I was like, that's what I was doing anyway. I was isolating. It was just I'm isolating in a random room in LA or a random room in Nashville or in Tennessee, and ended up being in a barn in Tennessee. But it didn't really make a difference.
Yeah, how you liking the farm life?
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like my only hobby outside of creative stuff. Like the only thing that I do that I enjoy that isn't creative is riding a tractor around. and riding a little lawnmower too and cutting the grass. Like that has been my biggest form of therapy is if I'm like, I feel like it's too intense, like all the creative life, whatever it is, I'll just go make circles, cut that lawn. It's so good.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends down here, and I have a feeling that, you just moved to Nashville, right? Recently?
Yeah.
So it really hasn't had a chance to really affect you yet, but I have a feeling that maybe the next record will sound way different than this one.
Doubtful.
No? Okay. All right.
I don't think my location affects me at all.
Because I've been in both those cities, and you couldn't get two opposite ends of the world, it seems like.
Yeah. Not so much now, I think. I don't know. When was the last time you were in Nashville?
In March, and I'm going to be there this weekend.
Okay, weekend. So you're there frequently. I mean, it's not. I mean, where I live, I don't live in Nashville. I live in southern Tennessee, so that is complete opposite to Los Angeles. I feel like Nashville's becoming sort of Los Angeles-y.
Yeah,
not that different. But yeah, I live in like a tiny little farming town. It's not what you would expect. It's not Nashville. And I love that it's the opposite. And I don't think it's going to affect the songwriting at all. No, I'm more affected by like the energy of the world and like the way, I don't know. Not my location has very little to do with it. Like where I actually am.
Now, see, I'm a small town farming kid as well, and I live in a small town and a farm, and I grew up with one as well. And it's like you talk about the energy of the world, and the energy of the world is way different in a small town farming community than it is in a hustle and bustle Los Angeles. That's, I guess, why I brought that up.
Yeah, but it's all like I'm so connected to the internet. Like I have the rest of the world right on my phone right there, and so that's what's informing me more so than what's, I actually, maybe there's something to be said about that. Like I'm not creating with any inspiration of what's directly in front of me, because maybe that's like my own piece.
Mm-hmm.
Like I that's detached from Badflower or from songwriting or from whatever. It's like, this is just my time. This is my thing. And as soon as I'm tapped into this phone, it's like now I'm tapped into this greater conscious, and I have to create art around it or something. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Last time I was in March, when I was in Nashville in March, I hung out in Nashville for a few days, and then I went down to Prospect, Tennessee for a party. So I don't know if you know where that is. That's like small town country. That's almost right by Alabama.
Yeah. I think I've heard of Prospects.
Yeah.
It's probably not far from where I live.
Yeah, there you go. So speaking of COVID, like you were, what was it like to get back on stage for the first time after being off stage for so long?
It was amazing. It was great. We didn't get any rehearsal the first time we came back. We just did it, and it was awesome.
Yeah, you missed it. Do you miss that? Do you miss that adulation or connecting with the fans?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The first time I heard a crowd of people since the pandemic sing lyrics back, like in a giant group, and everyone in unison singing the same thing, I cried like a baby on stage. It felt so like tribal and necessary, and something that everybody had been deprived of for so long, and it was like really, really powerful.
And it's funny because it's such a simple thing. You go out to watch a concert, and all of a sudden it's like it's taken away from you.
Yeah.
And it's such an easy thing that makes people feel good and gives them a certain energy as well.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's a neglected form of therapy for a lot of people too. Yeah, it's an important thing. Yet it's, when something like this happens, it's the first thing to go. That was something big that we learned. Like, oh, our careers are very mortal. Like, yeah. This is not forever. Like we've got to stay humble about this and be smart, because something bad happens in the world and we are the first to go.
Right. Yeah, it was a tough year and a half, but things seem to be getting back to normal here. But the new record is out. This is how the world ends. I wanted to ask you real fast before we close up about 3 records that came out today, 30 years ago. What are your thoughts about their Nirvana, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Soundgarden? I mean, those records pretty much changed everything.
I didn't know all 3 of those came out.
Yeah, today. Yeah, 1991. I played all of them when they were brand new because I'm old. But how'd those records affect you?
All 3 of those records are amazing. Like, yeah, I've influenced all of us, I think, in various ways. Oh, that's cool. I wonder if that's I don't know. I wonder if that's a good thing that our album, it comes out 30 years later, or a bad thing. Is it possible that we're gonna have the 30 years from now, they'll be saying that about our record? Maybe. Like, who knows? I don't know.
We'll see. I mean, those records came out of nowhere, especially like Nirvana and Soundgarden. The Chili Peppers had already kind of been out a little bit, but I was just telling Jade yesterday, I remember playing Outshine for the first time. I'm like, this is unbelievable. It's like one of those songs you just hear the first time and it just hits you like a brick in the face or something, you know?
Yeah. Well, you should play Stalker off our new album.
Stalker? Okay.
Yeah.
I was listening.
See if it does for you what Outshine did all those years ago.
All right, I got to get a copy of the new record. Like I said, just dropped today, so I haven't had a chance to dig into it. I did hear a little bit of it, but I was this morning getting a workout and listening to the last record, and I just love that record so much. It's so raw, and of course I'm a vinyl guy, so I drop it on and I walk away. But I think that record's pretty killer, man.
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Well, listen, have a safe tour out there. Of course, stay safe and all that kind of stuff. And I guess we'll see you here in the Motor City in a few days. This is How the World Ends drops today. And we appreciate your time as always, Josh. Cheers.
Thank you so much. Thanks for playing us so much.